happen. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. My neighbors compete to see who can put up more blinding lights. The kids all wish away the month 'cause they want presents in sight. This year had me so mad. I've been bad, got coal that is sitting under my tree. I think that my Christmas has died. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. When I was just a boy, Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am. But right in front of me was the answer. 'Cause on Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song.
Which one of you did that?
Hey. Good evening.
Good evening.
As we approach the end of the year.
Yes. Well, I'm sorry, but after 2024, I'm really not holding out any hope that 2025 is going to be any better, because I just don't see it happening. I'm wondering how long it'll take for everything to
don't
go
be like
even
that.
more
Don't
to
be like
shit.
Don't be like that, Ed.
Well,
Be upbeat. We've got a birthday
would
girl
love
in the
to-
house, I believe. We have
Oh,
a birthday
yes.
girl in the
Little
house.
Bird told us.
Little bird told us. Birthday girl
Happy birthday,
in the
Shalini.
house. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Shalini. Happy birthday to
Happy
you.
birthday to you.
There we go. Right. There's Mr. Ben in the house as well. Mr.
Oh,
Ben.
hey, Ben.
Wonder what hat he's wearing today. Do you remember Mr. Ben? Do you not remember
Don't
Mr. Ben?
start you.
He used to put on a different hat and go somewhere weird. Yeah? But I'm not starting anything. I'm just asking about Mr. Ben. Good grief. What are you on tonight? I've got Wan de Wan.
Well, I never normally drink on a Monday night, but I'm just on some Penguins Sands, which is a
Penguin.
cheap but nice one from Sainsbury's.
All right, so I've gone for one of the reds from our mixed case. Thank you very much, Dread and Julie. And it's a Tempranillo Syrah Grenache mix. Oh, that should be quite nice.
I think have I had that one already? I've drunk two of them. I'm saving one for tomorrow.
Indeed. And tomorrow is Hogmanay, as they say up here.
Or out in new, as they say in Dutch.
There you go. Everybody's got their own expression. Right. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to go through Twitter, and I found this thing today called Twitter Rap, which is kind of like apparently it's a rip-off of a thing called Spotify Rap, which I don't know anything about. So I'm actually doing pretty poorly for a social media commentator. I don't know an awful lot about social media. But anyway, I found this thing called Twitter Wrap, basically, and it's an AI examination of your Twitter and what it thinks about you, and it's quite funny. It's quite humorous. So we'll go through it, and it gives us a kind of look through the year that Twitter has been. Before we go any further, welcome everyone in the chat. Beats and Tapes, Ray, Yazzie, good to see you. Ben, obviously, Shalini. Jeff's View, good evening. Jeff's View, don't know if I've heard that one before. Dread Eye and Julie, and Britmate. Britmate, good to see you, Britmate. And hello, says Shalini. Right, tomorrow is party time. Yeah, I'm going up the house tomorrow, so we won't be on here. Fluffy Columbus, boo to you too, sir. Oh, Ben's famous. Somebody came up to him in the bowling apparently and said, "Are you the review guy on YouTube?" Or do you think he's at it? Do you think he's just trying to wind us up?
Well, no, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, somebody approached him did somebody not approach him in London the last time he was up there as well? Anyway, right.
I don't go out, so people wouldn't come up to me and go, "Are you the weird rabbit hole guy?"
Because you don't leave the premises.
Pretty much.
He can sometimes be seen sprinting for his car when he's going into work.
I generally
With a
park
large
it really
hat,
close, so
with a
I don't
large-
need to sprint.
You wear a large fedora and throw a big coat, a big coat over
No,
yourself.
but if I want to be incognito, I'll have my hood up.
Oh, right, okay, right. Sorry, Ed, you're not obviously had enough to drink or smoke tonight to be laughing yet. Right, let's get into this. Let's get into
Well, I'm only having a glass of wine because I came on here. Like I said, I don't normally drink on a Monday.
Well, I don't normally drink, as you know, but I thought since it's
Making an exception. Anyway,
yeah, I'm
cheers,
making
me
an
old
exception.
mucker.
Cheers, me mate.
Right.
Right.
So where do we begin?
Well, let's. Well, I've got mine queued up. Do you want to go first or shall I? It's quite easy for me to change. Well, yeah, I tell you what. Let's start with you. Let's
If you've
start
got
with you.
yours queued up.
Let's start with you because you always go second, right? So let's give you the pride of place for a change. Right, here we go. Ed the Techie. And it just takes your straightforward bio, which you've already got in there, yeah? Remember the 5th of November of gunpowder, treason and plot. I know of no reason why the gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. That is your bio, yeah?
It's been my bio for
Yeah.
years.
So you have 18,686 followers. That's incredible. And you are in the top 1% of Twitter accounts. Did you know that? The
I
top
didn't know that.
1%?
I'm genuinely stunned that anyone wants to follow me.
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, I was impressed when I saw that.
Ray, calm down. the chat's out of control already. Oh, good grief. Right, okay, right. Yeah. So you have 18,686 followers, and let's give it your most popular tweets of 2024. So, number one was, why does everything that Bill Gates funds always seem to come with a side effect that impacts fertility?
That was a good one.
That was a good one. 13,000.
Although
Sorry.
Twitter's a weird place because I didn't write that tweet expecting it to get any traction. I was just reading yet another story about it was that Bover stuff.
Yeah.
Yet another something that Bill Gates' money is behind that seems to come with a side helping of sterility and or
I did
like
I made a tweet 3 days ago, and it's obviously not made it to this because it had about 13,000 views as well. And all it was, I salute that tree. Right? Because there was somebody posted this thing about some skirmish that had occurred between, I think it was North Korea and South Korea, and the only casualty of the entire skirmish was a tree. And I said, I salute, or God rest that tree, or something like that. Yeah, that's what I said. God rest that tree, and then had a picture of a emoji saluting, and that got more tweets than anything. But anyway, right, your second one, the techies Silver Place. Everyone should register a chicken. I remember this because this was my idea, and overwhelm the system. Then in a week or two, tell them the chicken died and overwhelm them again. Mine will be called Clucky McBeakface. Okay, thank you.
Yes, that was in response to the stupid government telling us that we had to register chickens. I mean...
And then number 3rd from July, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Klaus Schwab on his recent election victory in the United Kingdom. I don't know what that was about. Was he commenting or something when he should?
Well, no, that was July the 5th. That was when the dear leader won the election.
Of course it was. Right, so we'll do it in sections, so I'll slip back to mine now. So as you know, Sergeant Grumpy, with a background in law enforcement, a passion for uncovering the truth behind urban myths, conspiracy theories, and a whole lot more. That's me. I don't do politics anymore, do I? But, well, maybe I do. So I have 710 followers. Well, that's not quite certainly speaking true anymore, because I've now got 3,500 followers. It's just that most of them are on my other account that I got back. So I don't know what to do with that, because it's got a lot more followers, but I don't know.
I don't know if Twitter support would help you, or
I don't know what to do.
Just get the people that follow your smaller account to follow your larger account, and then
yeah, I know. It might be that I want you all to jump over to @Jaipo at some point. But anyway, Johnny and John's on as well. Right, so I have 710 followers, which is quite poor, really. But it puts me in the top 15% of Twitter accounts. So that just shows you how many people don't use Twitter. That's quite frightening.
Yeah, but also how many bots there are, because I think it's purely going based on how many users Twitter has got, turning it into a percentage of how many, or what the average is, or something. I don't know.
So I actually don't know what my tweets are, and I don't know how to find out. So my number one, where's my mouse gone? So my number one tweet of 2020-24 from October the 9th is, it's a belief. It's not a belief, it's a fact. So obviously I was correcting somebody on something.
So gee, what a surprise.
Well, you might not be surprised after we finish this. My silver tweet was, in the old days, the police would have taken the two boys to their respective homes and had a word with their parents, who would have chastised them. The farmer would be told not to be so daft if it happens again. So that was in response to the farmer who caught the two guys on his land, tied them up, and his quad bike, hog-tied them, put them on his quad bike, took them to the police station. I think that was tremendous. That guy should have been given a medal for that. Yeah?
Yeah, but he got arrested.
I know. He got arrested and charged, didn't he, for assault? You just world's gone mad. And obviously, my third tweet is, they managed to get here without free travel. Why do they need it now? So this from December the 11th, right, was my response to the Scottish National Party wanting to give illegal immigrants free bus passes.
It's like they shouldn't, illegal immigrants, they should not be in
and
the
it's
country.
Like, and something even said, right? Something even said, I said, well, I tweeted this. They managed to get here without free travel, so why do they need it now, right? Which is, I think, a fair point. And somebody replied to that and said to go looking for work. They're illegal immigrants. They're not allowed to work. If they're asylum seekers, they're not allowed to work until they've either been granted or rejected. And if they're rejected, they get sent home. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible, these people.
Utter complete madness.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, and we will zip back to you for your 2024 quote of the. Our quotes are actually quite similar, believe it or not. Your quote of the year for 2024 is: the government is literally a joke at this point. You're probably right, mate. You're probably right. And if I nip across to mine, the world has gone beyond the nuts now. So we're pretty we're pretty much on the same page there, aren't we? Yeah. So there's our quotes of the year. I don't know what you people think of this. Do you think this is a nonsense, or I find it quite funny when I read it.
I think it's fun. To be honest, I posted a link to the EXA website on my profile and suggested people try it, and I've had a lot of positive response from it. I hit a reply and blocked someone who called me a dumb cunt because it didn't work. So that's like
shocking.
It's not even someone I was following or was following me, but they're now
shocking.
in Blockistan.
But I bet they put the @ symbol in front of their username. Never use the @ symbol these days.
I didn't even, to be honest, I saw them call me a cunt and I just hit the reply.
Yeah, well, you're quite right, mate. Somebody called me that.
Paid too much attention.
Somebody called me that the other day for pointing out something that was, I thought, quite straightforward. And you know, it's like people are just really nastily aggressive for no apparent reason.
Yes, I've noticed that, and it's. I think sometimes those particular types of accounts are actually malicious actors there to stoke up trouble, piss people off, try and get you in an argument and so you say something stupid and get your Twitter account cancelled or end up in bloody prison or something like that.
I'm taking a completely new approach on Twitter these days. I'm generally just agreeing with people who are saying, "Oh, you're lovely. Thank you very much for your kind comments." And it really it drives them nuts, but they can't report you for that.
No, I block them.
Yeah.
If it's someone, because that's not to say I block everyone who I disagree with, because there's people where I'm mutual followers with them.
Yeah.
And there's literally one thing that I agree with them about, or they've done some really good, like 9/11 research.
Yeah. But
they're absolutely rampantly supporting Israel, for example. But I've never had a crossed word with them, or sort of, I haven't seen them like being nasty or rude to anyone.
No, I mean, look at Ray in the chat there. I mean, him and I argue on Twitter all the time because he's got his strong leftist views. Anyway,
the thing is that in a healthy society, there is a free debate, and the debate is healthy, and everybody. I mean, you don't necessarily even have to be nice to or respect each other all the time, but fundamentally, there has to be a base level of respect. And I mean, people lose their tempers. Everybody has an issue or two issues that they feel more strongly about than others. And sometimes we can just be having a bad day and someone winds us up the wrong way and they get the brunt of our bad day.
That's true. That's true. So, Shalini, if you want to find this stuff, you go to twitterwrapped.exa.ai, and just as it sounds, twitterwrapped.exa.ai. In fact, you could type that in while I'm talking about the next thing, Head. Right. So here we go. Your 2024 story is coming up, and here we are. So, spent 2024 fighting this system, exposing the WEF, roasting politicians, and championing farmers. Your tweets about Macron, Bill Gates, and government control hit different. Your key moments: called out Bill Gates' suspicious projects, fair do, supported French protests against Macron, exposed the WEF's Great Reset agenda. Well, I don't think you had to expose it much. I mean, they're quite obvious about it.
Yeah.
You backed the farmer protests and you challenged mainstream media narratives. You are on fire, Ed. You are on fire.
Well, I think that's a pretty good rap sheet. If that's what my key moments in 2024 were, then super.
Yeah,
I'm happy with that.
that's good. So my 2024 story is: this year you were on a mission to uncover the truth. You called out everyone. You didn't hold back.
Systemic nonsense.
You were a force to be reckoned with. You called out the BBC for systemic nonsense. You said the Queen is an imposter. I don't remember that. Maybe it was when why would I say the Queen was an imposter?
I don't remember you saying
I'll
that.
be talking about Camilla. She's an imposter. Yeah. So that'd be right. And I did film an orb. Remember, I went out and filmed an orb. Did you see that tweet? No. During the big drone flap of 2024, I went out and filmed a plane and put it out of focus and made it an orb.
I don't remember that one.
I just did it like a week ago. And I came in proudly and goes, I filmed an orb and posted it.
I haven't been on Twitter very much for last week.
Right, here we go. So you're going to get your friendly roast now from the... it's obviously an American program if it's going to roast you, because that's not something I'd ever heard about until I discovered Americans. Had you?
No.
No. So your friendly roast. You've never met a conspiracy theory that you didn't like to retweet? That's probably pretty fair. Your relationship status with the WEF is complicated. They're trying to control the world. You probably think your microwave is spying on you. You can insert something else there.
No, I object to this.
You can insert something else. How could it know you didn't have a microwave? Yeah, but how could it know that?
I've never trusted them. I mean, apart from the fact that my kitchen is
small. See, there you go. If you had a microwave, you would think it was spying on you.
No, I think it was trying to murder me by.
Well, there you go.
Tampering with the molecular structure of my food.
Oh my God. It only excites the water molecules. It's not tampering with anything.
Don't trust it.
Okay. You've written Bill Gates so many times you might start paying rent in your tweets.
That'd be nice.
And your Twitter feed is basically just one long I told you so thread.
I like that one.
Yeah, it probably is.
That one made me laugh because it pretty much is when I think about it.
Right, okay, so what's my roast, my friendly roast? Oh, here we go, yeah. You're so grumpy, even your coffee is bitter. I probably think the milk is a government spy. You're like a detective, but instead of solving crimes, you're just finding new ways to be mad at the world. Did you find the missing medical isotope yet? Do you remember that? No?
No.
You remember the drone flap of 2024? When they suggested that the New Jersey drones were seeking missing radioactive material. Okay? It was a calibration radioactive pellet that's used in the medical industry, right? For recalibrating some kind of machines. I mean, you'd be lucky if it puts out more radiation than the sun does at midday. And they were hunting, no they weren't. They weren't hunting for that. And then you're so obsessed with the truth, you probably think your reflection is lying to you. Well, it does daily. It does. And maybe I should check if my face is melting. That's not very nice.
It's pretty savage, actually.
It's quite savage, aye. It's not that friendly, that roast. Yeah, you got better off than I did. Right, you deserve praise, apparently. You are a truth seeker. You're not afraid to question everything and everyone. You are a meme warrior. Yes, you are. The political memes and jokes hit harder than Macron's approval ratings. Well, that wouldn't be hard, would it? to hit harder than Macron's approval. You are a freedom fighter. You stand up for what you believe in. Consequences be damned. Apparently, you're a trend spotter. You catch suspicious patterns before they become mainstream news.
I like that one. I thought I was quite that one and the freedom fighter one. I was quite chuffed with. I
Yeah.
mean, it's all.
And-
I liked all of them. It's a nice little stroke to the ego.
It's certainly stroking your ego. And you're a community leader. You've built a strong following of like-minded truth seekers. So you're getting it good again. What nonsense do I get? That's the problem. So I deserve praise, apparently. I am a truth teller. I always speak my mind. No filter, just pure honesty. I think that's quite fair. I don't tend to filter much, do I?
No.
Mythbuster. I dig deep into things. I don't just accept what you're told. That's true. I would agree with that. I am a BS detector. I'm not afraid to call out BS. I see right through it. Yep, I do. I have BS X-ray eyes. I'm a debate champion, apparently. You're always ready to debate. You love a good argument. Me? An argument? How can it say that? And then I am the sarcasm king. Oh, you're a master of sarcasm. Your tweets are always funny. Oh, thank you. I've actually come out of that quite well. I quite like that.
Yeah. And it's true too. I can't see much that I disagree with.
Yeah. Oh, good grief.
I don't know if your tweets are always funny,
No, they're not always funny. But I do inject a
but
fair
they
bit of
are. They
humour.
are frequently funny.
Yeah. Right. Oh, here we go. Your Twitter twin. Your Twitter twin is Alex Jones. You both share that same energy of exposing global conspiracies and aren't afraid to call out the powers that be. Plus, you both have that I was right all along vibe. You do.
Oops.
You do.
Yeah, I kind of do.
Oh, your Twitter obsession. And this is an obsession, mate. I think you might need help here. You're obsessed with Emmanuel Macron. You have mentioned him in over 50 tweets, mostly roasting his leadership and calling him Le Petit Choupinette. The French
little puppet.
protests have really got you fired up.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I was surprised to see that one because I would have thought that I tweeted about the dear leader more. But
Yeah, well, there you go.
I mean, it's 2024 and he's only been prime minister since July. But I still think I've mentioned him 50 times. But then I haven't necessarily put Keir Starmer in them, so the AI may not
Yeah.
have twigged.
Yeah. Right. So my Twitter twin is apparently also Alex Jones. Both love a good conspiracy, both have strong opinions, and we both aren't afraid to speak our minds. You both have a lot of energy. Ooh, a lot of energy. My Twitter obsession is Campbell Claret. Apparently, I've mentioned him a lot. I seem to have a love-hate relationship with him. No, I don't. I just hate him.
You'd love to hate him.
Yeah, I have replied to him 5 times. That's hardly an obsession. And I've called him out on their past war crimes. I'll just call that as it is, regardless of whether we get demonetized or not. I'd just like to let you people know that we are monetized again, although we only made 16 pence on our show on when was it? Friday? Did we have a show on Friday? No.
I don't know. I have to stop using the F word.
Right. Anyway. Oh, you've done well tonight. I mean, you've already had the C word in there. Sorry.
I keep forgetting because we were monetized and then we're not monetized and now we are monetized. It's so confusing.
Oh, God. Right. Content that made you go viral. Turning complex political situations into savage memes. That'll be all your
I'll take
vandal
that
work.
as a compliment.
Yeah. Exposing global elite agendas with receipts. Fair dues. Creating catchy nicknames for politicians you don't trust. I would say for politicians you hate.
Despise and loathe would
Yeah.
be equally suitable words.
That could be well. Content that made me go viral. Apparently, your sarcasm was top tier. You can make anything sound funny. Like when you said someone's face needs a good iron. That's true. I did say that. That person's got that many lines. They need a good iron. You're not afraid to be controversial. You say what others are thinking. Like when you called someone a bike wanker. Oh, God. I'm not coming out of this well, am I? I have a knack for finding the absurd. You can turn any topic into a conspiracy, like when you said the Queen is an imposter. The Queen is an imposter. That's not even a conspiracy. She's not. She shouldn't even be the Queen, really. She's the Queen consort on. You know, to call her the Queen is a straight slap in the face to both his dead ex-wife and his mother. Because I don't think his mother wanted. I don't think she ever wanted Camilla to be known as a Queen. I
don't think so either. Because I always thought she was going to be Queen Consort.
Well, that's what I thought as well. And it took her about a week to say that she wasn't, didn't it?
Well, that's pretty much as soon as Mama popped her clogs and Chucky was on the throne, he was like, nope, she's going to be Queen.
Yeah, yeah. Oh. Right. Time spent this year. So your time spent this year has been on the blue stuff, government criticism. That's fair. The pink stuff, conspiracy theories. Well, that's your rabbit hole work. Your orange stuff is your political memes, which is you just being vandalizing things. The green stuff is your freedom fighting activities. And your darker or red is global protests. Well, there you go. Global protests. So my time has been spent on conspiracy theories in blue, political commentary. I don't do political commentary anymore. In pink, calling out BS in orange. That's quite a lot of calling out of BS. Random thoughts. I quite like that I've got a large slice of the pie for random thoughts. And sarcasm and jokes. Well, there you go. So your words are more erudite than mine. My words are quite short and to the point. So your most used words of 2024: WEF, Great Reset, Bill Gates, Macron. You do have a thing about Macron, and government. There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Again, I'm surprised that Dear Leader isn't mentioned in there, but
I don't think you say his name much. What do you call him? You don't call him Keith Starmer or Sir Keith Starmer.
no, I'll generally use
Keith.
Dear Leader
Yeah,
or Keir.
yeah.
I refuse to use the title Sir Keir. Fuck off. Oh, sorry.
So my most used words of 2024 are lol, bullshit, what the WTF, or nonsense. As you can see, most of my words are fairly derogatory and expressing somewhat of a disbelief in people's tweets. Journeying John in the chat has actually said that although him and I don't agree very often, he does say Camilla is an imposter. Thank you, John. May your next
Wow, the two Johns actually agreed about something.
May your next shite not be a hedgehog.
Oh dear.
Right.
I love Scottish sayings and some of the crazy words that you come out with.
Next year predictions for you. Money. These are going to be weird. Your anti-establishment stance will lead to unexpected financial opportunities. A controversial tweet will go viral, leading to a speaking gig. That would be interesting. Watch your crypto investments soar by 40% when the system you've been warning about shows cracks.
Well, cryptos. I don't have a huge amount of crypto, but it's made its money back.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Health. all that time investigating conspiracies will actually boost your mental sharpness. I've yet to see any evidence of that.
Fuck off.
Your stress levels will drop when one of your major predictions comes true. Remember to touch grass occasionally. So maybe you should get out more.
I think that's what it's trying to tell me.
Yeah.
That's what my mother's constantly telling me as well.
Here we go. Here's your love life. This will be a good one. You'll find someone who shares your passion for exposing the truth. They'll slide into your DMs after one of your spicy political memes. Your perfect match will be someone who also has a folder full of conspiracy evidence.
That
It's not
sounds
going
like
to be.
fun.
I tell you who it's not going to be. It's not going to be any of these UFO people, then, is it? If they've got evidence, right? And your New Year's resolution to create the biggest anti-establishment movement on Twitter, expose 3 major global conspiracies, and maybe learn to garden. That'll be difficult when you don't have one. Just in case the food supply predictions come true.
Yeah,
John,
I wish I could garden, but
I'll be on the lookout for these sexy DMs coming in now, Julie.
I know.
It'll
Sounds
be,
like fun.
that's what Britmate says. Careful the honeypots, mate. Careful the honeypots. Right, me, money. There's a laugh. Money will be like a government secret. Yep, it probably will. They'll have some, then it'll disappear. Yep. You'll probably find a new way to make money, possibly. Maybe by selling your kidney. No, sorry, conspiracy theories. Just don't get caught by the feds. Yeah, okay. Well, I do try not to. I am behind a firewall. And I try and not give out my address. Health. My health will be like a roller coaster. One day you're fine, the next you're convinced you're melting. But hey, at least it's never boring. You'll discover a new health conspiracy, maybe involving 5G and pigeons. I don't think so. It doesn't sound like me at all. My love life will be as mysterious as a UFO sighting. I think you're right there. You might find someone who shares my passion for uncovering the truth, or maybe you'll just keep arguing with people online. I think I'll just keep arguing with people online, mate. Either way, it'll be interesting. And my New Year's resolution is to find the truth. Of course it is. I am on a quest to discover the truth. I'll dig deeper into the rabbit hole and I'll uncover 3 new conspiracies. Probably start a podcast about it. Almost certainly. In fact, I think I had a podcast yesterday. Something I discovered. Right. So, Christmas special. You are on Santa's naughty list, but we knew that, Ed, aren't you? You've been ruthlessly exposing politicians and global elites all year. Santa's probably on the WF payroll anyway, according to your tweets.
I never said that Father Christmas is on the WF payroll.
You kind of implied it, though.
That's true.
The perfect gift for you would be a personal Faraday cage to protect you from 5G and a premium VPN subscription. Well, that's probably quite accurate. Perfect for a truth seeker who needs to stay off the grid while exposing global conspiracies.
Well, personally speaking, I think a personal Faraday cage, given what I know about
Microwaves.
the geomagnetic excursion,
And microwave.
yeah.
I mean, the people downstairs have probably got a microwave. Probably getting irradiated from above and below. You're not in the penthouse, are you?
Yeah.
You are in the
Yeah,
penthouse.
no, well, not penthouse, but on top floor.
Well, penthouse then. I mean, for God's sake, Ed, if you're going to meet and impress girls, you've got to say, I've got a penthouse flat. You do. You're on the top floor. You've got a penthouse flat. Is that not the thing? Is that not right? Am I wrong? Or am I a meringue?
No, technically speaking, you're right. I would I would feel like I was misleading people by telling them I lived in a penthouse.
I'm not going to say anything. Right. Where am I? Where am I? Who am I? I'm also on the Nantes, on Santa's naughty list. I'm definitely on the naughty list. I'm too spicy for Santa. I call out everyone and everything. There you go. Just a bad boy. And the perfect gift for me would be a lifetime supply of tinfoil. I'll need it for all those conspiracies I'm cooking up. Slap my thigh and call me Roger. Cover me in jam. I'm a jammy dodger. Well, there you go.
Slap my thigh and call me Roger, cover me in jam, and I'm a jamming dodger.
Yeah.
Where the fuck do you come out with this stuff?
Well, I've got to live up to my reputation of being funny. According to Twitter Wrapped. Well, actually, there you go, Ed. I think that was quite accurate for most. For most of it, it wasn't that far off.
I think it certainly manages to capture the essence of both of us based on our tweets. I mean, obviously, some things it got wrong, and it doesn't know that you're married, and things like that. But I mean, on the whole, it's. I mean, I don't know how much, because given the time it takes to produce, and also the complexities of trying to get historical access to the Twitter API, I'm not quite sure how they're doing the Twitter thing, but it's a search. It's some sort of AI search system, so it's probably got its own indexed.
Yeah, it's probably scraping Twitter constantly, and then just going back over its own scrapings, if you pardon the expression, which will be able to do a lot quicker than trying to access it through an API. Yeah.
Well, it's also cheaper because the Twitter API is expensive to the point where you couldn't make a service like that financially viable if you're actually using Twitter to scan people's tweets. The free version of the API doesn't give you enough tweets, and the paid for versions are eye-wateringly expensive.
I haven't even bothered trying.
We used to use it. I mean, it was because it was free. And
I used to use it in TweetDeck. TweetDeck used the Twitter API, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because I used TweetDeck all the time, and then Twitter until about 2017, I think.
We use it extensively at work.
Yeah, because you could schedule your tweets and everything, you know.
Yeah, we didn't use it to tweet. We'd use the search function to essentially we'd put tweet users to one of our client sites would put the Twitter accounts of Twitter, basically people that they wanted to follow, and then our system is essentially tracking hyperlinks that they share and using those links to then scan the documents and see what they were tweeting about. We never actually did anything with the tweets themselves.
So you tweeted. I tweeted 17,000 times. Joined in 2023, right? You have tweeted 206,000 times, but you joined in 2011, which is fair.
Yeah, but I wasn't. I've only really been active on Twitter for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I used to just use Twitter to yell at companies when I wasn't getting good customer service.
Yeah, that's kind of what everybody did, wasn't it?
Well, these days it's actually. I mean, it's certainly for some companies, it's the fastest way to get any kind of support from anyone.
So, my other one, I don't know if we want to go through this. There's not a lot in it. Yeah, there's not a lot in it. My other one, because obviously I've got nothing for the last 3 years. It does say I'm a Twitter veteran. I've been on Twitter since 2009. That's true, OG. Yeah. I'm always chatting with everyone. I'm a social butterfly. I question everything, and I'm not afraid to be different. Oh, apparently my other persona is my Twitter twin is Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I'd find that quite insulting if I was you.
And my Twitter obsession is the cult of UFO.
Interesting.
So that is quite interesting. I mean, it's picking that up quite quickly. for someone who.
Yeah, it's weird because if that account hasn't been active for ages,
I know.
I'm just curious as to
I mean, the
what
last
history they have.
tweet on that account, other than today or the last couple of days, was the 2nd of November 2021. That's when I
Right.
lost. That's when I was permanently banned for doing nothing. But yeah,
Well, that was, I mean,
I'd only tweeted 34,000 times on that account. Apparently, joined in 2009, 2.8k followers. I can see though that I was doing a lot of calling out on masks and stuff,
Mm.
and on Twitter, which probably put them on put me on their radar, because that was pre-Musk, wasn't it?
yeah, and that sort of thing would get you banned really easily.
Yeah, yeah. So, any really fat people? Do you know any really fat people? You know, like fatter than us. You know, really grossly fat. Because I'm kind of wondering how they get their socks on. Because I'm starting to struggle. Do they have those helping hand things? You know, those things that you can stretch out and pick things up with. Do they have them to put their socks on?
Well, it depends on how fat. I saw just before we came on, I saw a picture of, I think he was the fattest person in the world died. And there's just a picture of him essentially naked in bed with a sheet over him and pizza boxes and the biggest bucket of KFC I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
And you just, I wonder how people allow themselves to get into that kind of state. I mean, because yeah, there's most of us could probably do with losing a bit of weight, with exceptions. Some people are completely trim, but modern society is not conducive to being skinny to start with. And some of us also just don't have that sort of build. Simple as. I mean, it's like with me, my brother got all the tall, slim Dutch jeans, and I ended up with the short, stocky rugby player English jeans, because
Yeah.
my grandmother had a massive thing for rugby players, and that was what why she was attracted to my grandfather. My father had the same build as my granddad, and I've got the same build as my dad.
I thought you were going to say that's why my grandmother had a picture of the rugby team and said, "Just pick any one of them as your dad, mate."
Not quite.
Oh.
And I've never
So
played
behave. You've never played rugby?
bloody
I used to play
idiotic
rugby.
game, like most of them.
It's what? I used to play rugby at
I
school.
just think sports are.
I'm
not.
Believe it or not, I was wing forward, because I was quite fast.
What is a wing forward?
You don't go in the scrum; you hang about on the very outside of it, and as soon as the what's he called, the fuck's sake, what's the guy that's held up by the hooker? As soon as the hooker picked up the ball, you can jump him.
I honestly, I can't think of anything more boring or pointless than watching rugby, football, cricket, tennis,
It was at school.
anything. It's not. I mean, I enjoy doing my kung fu, but kung fu is the only sport that I've found that kept me interested long enough that I kept doing it.
Yeah.
And as for watching that shit, no, it's my idea of hell, literally.
I loved playing volleyball at school. Loved volleyball. My favourite sport.
We had, for most of my school time in Holland, we had this ridiculously tall gym teacher who was a basketball player. So we used to play a lot of basketball and softball and like American style sports. And I literally just any excuse to skip gym class, and I would be all over it.
Yeah.
Because it's just I literally it's boring. It's never doesn't engage my brain, and if my brain's not engaged, then the rest of me isn't going anywhere.
I was in the rugby team at school, and we got banned from playing hockey during gym class. because too many of the rugby players were getting injured playing hockey.
Right. Hockey is brutal.
It's fucking brutal. It really is.
I had a friend who's, I'm not sure if he still does. I haven't spoken to him for ages, but he was a hockey player, and he's constantly getting injured and talking about how other people were getting injured. And
they used to make us play against the girls, and the girls used to beat us hand over fist every time. Because girls apparently, well, for some reason, girls seem to be really good at hockey, because hockey is technically a non-contact sport. So when
so is football.
Yeah, I know, but we used to come off. I mean, one of the guys, the hooker for the team, he come off with his teeth smashed in because he got a ball full in the mouth, right? One of the running, the guys, one of the wingers, he dislocated his shoulder and was out of the game for 2 weeks. It's like absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy.
It's just I don't see the point. It's like I'm the only man that I know of in my family who's not completely football obsessed and a massive. They're all Arsenal supporters. My dad, my brothers. Although my mother supports PSV Eindhoven because that's the Dutch thing. And I just think I can't. I literally, my dad, there was one time when I was a kid, I was about, I don't know, 13, 14, something like that. And my dad was taking my brother to watch the Arsenal, and I didn't want to go. And I literally stayed in the hotel room because the launch of the space shuttle was on and I wanted to watch that. And then me being a African kid staying in a hotel in London, thinking there was going to be something other than sports on television on a Saturday afternoon. This is back in the day. There was only
3 channels,
4 or 5 channels, and it was all sports. Literally,
Yeah.
I spent the afternoon reading and feeling very pissed off. But I'd still rather sit in a hotel room on my own reading than go to a goddamn football match.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of football, and they're talking about cricket in the chat, and I've never played cricket in my life.
Cricket is the only game I know where half the time most of the people playing it don't even know what the rules are. Literally, I've had about 4 or 5 people try and explain cricket to me, and it just I don't know. Maybe I just don't care enough to take the information in. But the thing is that people get very passionate about their sports, and there's nothing wrong with that because it's that's what it is. Whatever floats your boat, live and let live. All of that stuff. I don't understand it. I mean, if like football teams lose, people get far more upset than if the government tries to take their freedom away and start force jabbing them with all sorts of nonsense and filling their heads full of BS. And it's like, no, that's fine. Take my freedom away, but if my football team loses, then I'm going to lose my shit.
It's crazy. Not going to talk about. Oh, so the authorities have cancelled Hogmanay in Edinburgh because of high wind. It's just like, but the thing that gets me is you used to be able to go to like Glasgow City Centre or Edinburgh City Centre and see in the new year without having to buy a ticket. Now you can't get in unless you've got a ticket, and they're not cheap.
It's the same here with Pride in the summer. I mean, one of the biggest events in Brighton in the year is the Pride Parade and attendant festival and stuff, and it's all centered around one particular road called St James's Street, which is in Kemp Town, and it's if Brighton is the gay capital of Britain, then Kemp Town is the absolutely gayest part of the UK without any shadow of a doubt. And that whole street used to just be completely open, and they'd have bars and people dancing in the streets and all that kind of thing. And then I can't remember how long ago, but years ago now, they close the whole thing off, and all the residents have to have a pass to get in and out, and everyone has to pay to get in. And it's, yeah, I mean, hundreds of thousands of people still do it. I mean, it's an enormous event. But it's still, yeah, just
Everything's
money grabbing.
commercialised, isn't it? Everything's commercialised. I mean, Christmas is commercialised, fair enough. Easter's I mean, Jesus Christ, my wife was in the supermarket the other day. In fact, it wasn't even a supermarket, it was B&M, and they've got a whole section of mini eggs already, and eggs beside it. It's like crazy. You know, surely nobody is buying Easter eggs until after Easter.
I think if people are buying Easter eggs before it's even New Year, then you probably need a psychological intervention and some therapy, and seek help. If you're getting an urge to buy Easter eggs at the end of December, seek help.
As my daughter would say, that person needs a mental examination.
Yes. Your daughter sounds like a wise young lady. Some people are in severe need of mental examinations.
Yeah. Oh, good grief! Right. And else you want to talk about? What about the plane crashes? Do you want to talk about the plane crashes?
Yeah. I mean, I saw that they'd happened. I haven't really been following the news and stuff very much.
There's 3 plane crashes in like 3 days or something like that, and everybody's up in arms. And I keep pointing out there was 3 bus crashes in the UK, 2 in Scotland and 1 in England, where the roof was taken off a double-decker bus, and every one of them, people were injured. Some people died, I think. And nobody's mentioned the 3 bus crashes, but they're going on about the 3 plane crashes. You know. Now, one of those don't say it's not the same thing. What's the difference between a bus and a plane other than that one travels exclusively on the medium of tarmac and the other one travels on the medium of tarmac and the air?
Because for some reason, I'm not saying this is right, but there is a difference in the popular psyche between a bus crash and a plane crash. Whereas a bus crash is,
I know, but
I wouldn't say it's mundane, but a bus crash is
so.
It's gonna.
Yeah, the 3 bus crashes have all had the same outcome in that the driver went down a route that wasn't suitable for a double-decker bus and went through a low railway bridge. Every one was a railway bridge. Went through a low railway bridge and took the roof clean off, with people on the upper deck on occasion as well.
I'd be interested to know if they'd had the you know what.
Yeah. Well, that's been mentioned.
Where.
Yeah. It's a possibility. The plane crashes. One of the plane crashes you can discount because that gets shot down by Russia, right? So, I mean, Russia has admitted it. The Azerbaijan plane, the one where 38 people died and 32 survived, or vice versa, right? I'm not 100% sure. But that plane was en route from Chechnya or Azerbaijan or something to Grozny? Where's Grozny? Is that in Chechnya?
Grozny is the capital of Chechnya.
Right, I think it was en route
the Chechen Republic.
I think it was en route to Grozny or something like that, and it got shot down by the Russians. It sustained damage to the rear. You could see that it had been hit by some kind of projectiles, right? So it had the tail got shot a couple of times, but more importantly, apparently the Russians just fried its electronics with electric countermeasures, and the plane had no electronics, and it tried to land, but tried to land sideways.
Jesus.
So the people that survived were all sitting in the back. So remember, you want to survive a plane crash, sit in the back, behind the wings.
Yes. Although the old British military transports, I can't remember what they were called. Quite a famous
right. Hold on
plane.
a minute. John Johnny and John's talking about a different plane crash. The 179 dead and the 2 survivors. That's a different plane crash. We'll come to that one. But so one of the plane crashes was definitely shot down by Russia, and they've admitted it, right? Now, but having said that, they were also under, I think it was Grozny or whatever were under attack by Ukrainian drones at the time. So there was a whole thing going on there. So why was a civilian airline not diverted away to somewhere, completely out of the way?
That's a good question. I mean, who knows? It's the short answer.
Yeah. So the next one, right? The plane that tried to land without any undercarriage down and had some kind of airstrike. I think it might have been a bird or something that was ingested by one of the engines. So it came in low and slow. No, it came in fast and low, right? I think the pilot missed most of the runway and landed about the last third. And he was actually landing fairly well. There was no fire. They brought it down. Textbook stuff for a landing without undercarriage. And then he ran out of tarmac. He's going across the grass and then hits. And this beggars belief, right? Hits a concrete wall, right? That the landing lights were embedded in, or the ILS system was embedded in for planes coming into land. I've never seen a concrete wall at the end of a runway.
No.
Right? I mean, everybody else puts their ILS system on metal poles. So if a plane's going to hit it, it's going to knock the metal poles down. These guys...
Yeah, I mean, normally that's what you see. You see fences and poles around the edge of airports rather than
these
concrete
guys
walls.
had embedded the ILS system into a concrete wall. And the plane hit the concrete wall and burst into flames. And almost everybody died. That's the one Johnny and John was talking about. 179 people dead. Crazy.
Yeah, but is it... I mean, do we know? Obviously, one of them we know what happened, and it was shot down.
Well, that one had there was video of something. The engine certainly did ingest something because there was video of it. So he had some kind of medical. He had some kind of problem on board, and obviously something probably lost the hydraulics or something, and they couldn't get the wheels down. So I can only assume that it's been an issue. I mean, it looked like a fairly new plane. It had all the, the bent up wings that they have at the end.
Yeah.
So it looked a fairly new plane, but that doesn't mean anything these days, does it? It looked like a Boeing. I think it was a 737.
I mean, if it's a 737, then straight up. Well, if it's a Boeing, then yeah, we know what kind of problems Boeing have had.
Yeah.
With their passenger aircraft.
I can't remember what the other one was. But there were 3. And then, of course, there was the... so apparently there was the Ukrainian pilot who defected to Russia.
I hadn't heard about that one.
Yeah. So some pilot surrendered to Russia in the Kursk region. But with no confirmation of if he had a plane or not, or what kind of plane he had. But I would imagine if it's a Ukrainian pilot and he's defecting to Russia, he probably wouldn't have had one of the F-16s. But apparently there's another one of them shot down as well. So there you go.
Well, I mean, the thing with plane crashes, yeah, they're tragic, but none of the ones. I mean, the one that the Russians shot down. Yeah, that's it. You do wonder whether there's something behind it, but none of them are setting off any alarm bells in terms of
these things
there's
happen.
Something.
Yeah,
unfortunately, they do.
It's a cluster, and clusters happen. It happens with things like ships running into bridges,
Hmm.
trains
Never seen
derailing.
it's not sure.
Yeah,
Although that ship going into that bridge, I'm still.
listen, mate. If you want to knock down a bridge, there's a lot easier ways of doing it than trying to ram a ship into a pylon that's what a sixth of the width of the actual ship.
Mm.
You know,
And actually, since that happened,
hasn't been
there
any.
hasn't been any additional. I mean, there's a bunch of suspicions, as always happens when something like that occurs. To start with, people are like skeptical, but
Mhm.
normally, if there's more to it, then there's usually snippets and bits and pieces that someone does some research and uncovers a whole trail. But I haven't seen anything like that relating to the
So the only thing I found,
bridge.
the only thing I found that was weird about the plane crashes was some Twitter guy, stroke, I don't know if he's a YouTuber or something, some guy said he was told not to fly, so he's cancelled his New Year plans and he's just staying at home and having New Year. He's semi-famous, I think. I don't know him, but people out there do. But I thought you're either just trying to profit off of people's misfortune by saying that,
Mm.
or you're a really gullible fool. And I thought if he is a really gullible fool, because he did say in his tweet, I do what I'm told, right? So he said he was
Um,
told not to
mm.
fly. So I thought, well, okay, maybe he's just a gullible fool. So I sent him a tweet saying, please send me loads of money. He has not replied.
I'm not surprised. I mean,
So
the
I
thing
think
is that
I think he's a fucking prophet. He's a grifter trying to grift off the fact that people have died in plane crashes, which is pretty disgusting, mate, isn't it?
yeah, because yes, it is trying to profit off other people's misery or on the back of people's misery. And there's plenty who'll do it, but it doesn't make it right, in my opinion.
Yeah, it
I
doesn't.
don't think that's. It's not. It is niet netjes, as we would say in Dutch.
Not nice.
Well, netjes is basically means neat.
Right.
Because if my mum said to me that my when I was a kid that my bedroom wasn't netjes, it means that it's untidy. So not so it means neat, but it's one of those words that you struggle to translate from Dutch to English because there is an English equivalent, but it's not. It's not. The word doesn't have the same meaning. If I translate the word literally from Dutch to English as an English word, it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, cool. Right. Chat room, people in the chat. Have you anything you would like to ask us? This is your last chance this year. Your last chance for 2024. You want us to disclose anything? That'll be it.
Well, I don't. I'm not disclosing things. I'm happy to.
I never said you were. I just asked if they wanted to ask us anything. I mean, you whether you want to answer or not is entirely up to you, sir. I am not your handler. Who is your handler, by the way? You know your handler.
No,
Yeah,
don't
think
have
it's
one.
Macron.
I bloody hope not, because he's a creepy little gay weirdo. And his wife is
she's a
literally
nutball.
scary.
Yeah.
His wife is actually frightening to look at. I get the heebie-jeebies. Just like, what are you? What are you trying to be? What is this?
So John the Cannibal's, John has asked me, where do I get my Christmas jumpers? So I don't get them. My wife usually buys them for me. So you need to ask her, I'm afraid. Shalini says, any New Year resolutions? Well, actually, I was reading something, or was I reading? I was either reading or watching something today about New Year's resolutions and how this guy has changed from doing resolutions, which are they're kind of just plucked out of thin air, aren't they? Think about it. My New Year's resolution is to be a better man. Or to get. It's like setting a goal. I want
it's just part.
It's just
I don't
nonsense.
know. Well, it's
I-
always part of the New Year's zeitgeist,
Yeah,
and
but
it's just something that
it's like
it's
saying,
something that people ask each other.
yeah, but here's a better way of doing it, apparently, right? And I haven't tried it, but what I'd like to do, right, is rather than do a New Year's resolution, do an old year review. What you should do, and I don't mean like what we're doing for Rabbit Hole and stuff like that. I mean, you sit down and you look back at what you've done over the year and what was good and what worked and what was bad and what didn't work, right? And then, rather than just plucking things out of the ether for your New Year's resolutions, what you do is you just look at what you've done that you liked and worked and was of benefit to you and your family, and try and maximize the good things and minimize the bad things in the year coming.
But for me, that's a constant process. It's not.
Oh, but you're
And
a half Dutch freak. People don't have time to do that.
yeah, but the thing is that I
Okay.
don't. I mean, I don't. I can barely remember what I had for lunch last week, let alone what I did 6 months ago. And the lessons that you learn, the important ones, you learn them or you don't learn them, depending
Mhm.
on what you choose to do. And it's also how, like, taking new things on board, for example, new habits. I mean, I don't really make New Year's resolutions because it's just itching to break
Mhm.
them. But I want to try more fasting next year, for example.
Mhm.
Um,
Fasting's good.
and potentially a bit less alcohol as well,
Yeah.
which is never a bad thing. But I think if you're going to try and make life changes like that, you have to do it, but you also have to be realistic. And so, because this is one of the things about New Year's resolutions, that people set themselves all these unrealistic goals, and then get really disappointed in themselves when they fail to meet said unrealistic goal, and then end up compounding the misery by beating themselves up about it.
Yeah.
And I mean, sometimes I think people change when they're ready to, and they have to they have to want to do it. You have to be motivated,
Yeah. Yeah, I think
and
so.
and I think a certain amount of,
So,
I mean, we have to push ourselves to a certain extent, but you can over push.
right. Brittany is asking, how were your Christmas dinners, John and Ed?
My Christmas dinner was excellent.
What did you do?
I cooked myself a turkey. I got a turkey breast crown from M&S.
Mhm.
And yeah, no, I had turkey, veg. I had a tub of delicious creamed leeks from a colleague at work. Beef tallow, roast potatoes,
That sounds a bit
pigs in
dodgy.
blankets, Yorkshire puddings. It was amazing.
Yorkshire puddings with Christmas dinner.
I always have Yorkshire puddings with a roast.
Do you?
Yeah, absolutely. I know officially you're only supposed to have them with roast beef, and my grandmother probably would have gotten really upset with me for asking to have Yorkshire puddings with a roast chicken. But I just like Yorkshire puddings. I mean, the thing about Christmas dinner that I don't understand is people are always like, oh, having beef or lamb or beef or chicken or turkey or whatever, and they always have it with the pigs in blankets. But the pigs in and then afterwards, the pigs in blankets are one of the things that people like the most. And I was just never understood why don't you just have a big pile of pigs in blankets and some roast potatoes and
Well,
gravy and
I don't
stuff.
know. I love ham. I love a
I like roast ham too, but when you're on your own, doing more than one meat is
Yeah.
excessive to the
So-
point of,
So we had a ham,
Yeah.
and I cooked it in Coca-Cola.
I've heard that is a good way of doing ham.
It does. It makes it nice and sweet. I mean, it's a treat. Don't do it very often. But
Certainly better to use for Coca-Cola than drinking it.
yeah, and you can just throw the crap away. after you've finished with it. But it's nice.
Chuck it down the drain. It'll do wonders for your drains.
Yeah, that's true. Clean it out well. So we had the ham, we had a turkey, because my wife loves turkey. So we had the ham, we had the turkey, and we had a bit of beef as well. So we had
Nice.
three meats for Christmas dinner. Bit
That's
of a
good.
treat. Bit of a treat. In fact,
Well, that's the time to treat yourself and
Yeah.
the family.
I just finished the ham today. I just had the last of it. I had a little bit left, and I just chopped it into cubes and had it in an omelette. So it was lovely.
Yeah, I mean, the times that I've been in relationships, we usually do 2 meats, chicken
Yeah.
or turkey and ham and gammon, that sort of thing.
The thing I really love is bread sauce.
I actually had bread. So when I went up to London to see my brother over the weekend, and he cooked a roast chicken and actually made fresh bread sauce, which I haven't had for a long time.
Fresh bread sauce is good.
Yeah, no, it's good, but again, if you're on your own, it's just a hassle. And making it yourself, bread sauce. I mean, if you buy mint sauce, that's fine. Making mint sauce yourself is a schlep anyway.
Yeah.
But the bread sauce is really easy to make,
it's
and the
dead
shop
easy.
bought stuff is just not as good.
Yeah, it's far better than the shop bought stuff. Oh, right. They asked us anything else. Talking about you had roast seagull. I don't believe that. Shalini doesn't like pigs in blankets.
Shalini, how can you not like pigs in blankets? I don't understand that.
Harold is asking a question about the woman who got ate by the engine. Is that the woman that got sucked into the plane? That's happened quite a few times, though. I don't know if there's one recently, though, Harold. If there is, you're further ahead than I am on it, mate. So, but it does happen occasionally. You know, people walk past a jet engine too close because it's ramping up and sucks you in. And next
Well, there's people that have been sucked out of airplanes when the windows fail and
yeah,
all kinds of horrors.
jet engine sucks you in and blows you out the back. Unfortunately, you're
It's
usually
not a
in
nice
little
way to go.
teeny pieces. Strawberry apple pie, lush. Oh, thank you, Dread Eye and Joy. They've had their pies. The agreeing thing is becoming a habit. What's this agreeing thing? What's he talking about? Johnny and John. Always trying to stir us up. Oh no, he's agreeing with me. Is that what he's saying? Is he agreeing with me?
Yes. He's
Or
saying
I'm
that
agreeing with him.
agreeing with you is
Yeah.
becoming a habit.
That's shocking. Roast potatoes. Love roast potatoes. Red sauce, the sauce of the gods, says Johnny and John. Yep.
I discovered that roast potatoes with beef tallow roast potatoes are now my new favourite.
I
There's
love them.
beef
cooked
tallow
as
is
well.
superior to cooked roast potatoes in than
Yeah,
goose fat or duck fat or
yeah.
butter.
I love them cold.
A good cold. It's like pizza, you know. Good pizza is because it's just as nice cold as it was
Yeah,
warm.
yeah.
And it's the same with the roast potato. Good roast potato will be just as nice cold.
I can't believe that people are still listening to us talk nonsense. I mean, we've actually got more viewers now than we had when we started. But here's the one that gets me. Last night, my wife. What day is this? Monday? No, Saturday. She just dropped a pizza in and said, "There, you can have a pizza." So I had a pizza for my Saturday night dinner, right? And it was a chicken spicy pizza, but it had pepperoni on it. Normally, I'd just get a spicy chicken pizza. This one had pepperoni on it. I cooked it and I ate it, and I came to the conclusion I actually don't like pepperoni.
Depends on the pepperoni.
Yeah, and it's.
If it was a store-bought pizza, I don't like pepperoni on
Yeah,
a store-bought pizza.
I think it was a Morrison's pizza. I don't really like pepperoni. I love salami on a pizza.
There's nothing
But
wrong with that.
Getting
I
salami,
mean, they're different flavours.
getting salami is hard. But I can't stand pizza on a pepperoni on a pizza anymore.
Well, we're quite lucky for pizza in Brighton because there's at least 3 proper Italian Neapolitan style pizzerias. And and they're
Sorry,
they're
I'm not laughing at
fantastic.
you. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Johnny and John. Because he said he'd put us in our place, mate. We're here for the chat room. Yeah.
Well, that's fine. We'll just bugger off and let them chat. It's fine. I don't care.
Can't, as soon as we leave the chat room shuts. Right.
We'll
What
just
else?
leave it playing on a blank screen.
Who doesn't
Let them
like
chat.
Britmate doesn't like mustard? Good God, how can you not like mustard? Or brown sauce? Good grief.
Well,
I
it's
mean,
like Marmite.
each
Not
one's his
everybody
own.
likes Marmite.
Hey, each one's his own.
But the thing is that if look, variety is the spice of life, and if everybody liked
Mhm.
brown sauce, then there'd be less brown sauce for the people who really like it.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
And it's also it's type of mustard. I mean, it
there's
also
so many
depends on what
different-
you're eating. For example, if I'm having a corned beef sandwich,
Yeah.
then I'll usually have English mustard on
Okay.
that.
Why would
And
you
if
put
I'm
mustard on
having
a corned beef sandwich?
a hot dog, I usually have German mustard on a hot dog because
Really?
it's slightly more tangy. And there are some situations where Dijon mustard or the grainy mustard is called for. So it depends very much on what you're having. And saying, I mean,
Yeah.
brown sauce. The thing with brown sauce is that most people, you're either a ketchup person or you're a brown sauce person.
Mhm.
And I know some people who will have a mix. There are half and halves, and some people will pretty much commit a homicide for if you serve them a bacon sandwich with the wrong sauce on it.
Well, I don't think I could eat a bacon sandwich with red sauce on it.
Yeah, I mean, I personally my favorite bacon sandwich is a BLT. Which is the standard for it's the thing that I enjoy the most when I come back from Egypt, because there's nothing that will make you appreciate bacon more than not having it for 2 weeks.
That's why I put English mustard on, not bacon, but pork. In fact, that's what we were talking about this today. Do you remember? I don't know if you ever did, but growing up, we used to get pork chops for our dinner sometimes, and there was always the pork chop. Sometimes the pork chop had a bit of kidney on it.
Never had that.
Have you never had that?
No,
We
I
used
mean,
to
I have
fight over that chop. If one of the say we were getting a pork chop each, if one of the chops had a bit of kidney on it, we would fight over that chop. That's the
Okay.
chop we wanted, the one with the kidney on it.
Was the kidney that
It's
good?
lovely, yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. So if it's that good, why don't they sell pork chops with kidneys on them?
I don't know.
The chat room's going. I've never actually had I didn't even know kidneys. I suppose that's the part of the pig that they're attached to, but I didn't know that
Well,
the pork
pork chop-
chops were attached to
pork
the
chop
kidneys.
comes off its kind of belly, doesn't it?
I mean, I like pork chops. I found this. An American friend sent it to me as a present, a little tester mix of this. It's called Ozark seasoning, and it has it's got about 9 or 10 different spices and herbs and stuff in it. And it is the absolute best thing to have on a pork chop or pork loin
Yeah.
fillet or cutlet or whatever, anything pork related, and it's just stunning.
Oh,
Um,
there's one.
Night, John.
Hold on. There's
I have
one.
to put the TV out.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just a YouTube bloop.
right. I'll put this up briefly, okay? Because it's a Shutterstock image, but it's the only one I could find. So I shall dump this up quickly. Keep talking. I've got
Yeah, put me on the spot.
Oh no, hold on. Can I just paste that in? Hold on.
I haven't even been paying attention much to current affairs. I just needed to unplug over Christmas, so I have been thoroughly enjoying
Yeah.
the Harry Potter audiobooks
Right?
read by Stephen Fry.
Yeah, you were saying that the other night.
Yeah, it's because I've read the books,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen the films, and
Yeah.
I've been listening to, because I've listened to the other books in the series, but I just listened to them for half an hour before I go to bed.
Right.
And we got to about halfway through the Order of the Phoenix, which is the one with Professor Umbridge and Dumbledore getting kicked out and nobody believing Harry Potter because that Voldemort is back and all that kind of thing. And it gets so good that I spent Christmas Day just watching my Christmas movie playlist, and then Boxing Day, I started it in the morning when I was just clearing up and making my coffee and stuff, and just decided to keep listening to it because I got really, really into it. And Stephen Fry, I mean, he does a brilliant job of reading them, but it's just the genius that is J.K. Rowling. I mean, the world that she creates in those books is just next level. And I'm now listening to I've just finished the Half-Blood Prince. I'm on the Deathly Hallows now.
Cool.
And the Half-Blood Prince is, I mean, they're just such good books. And
Yeah.
the characters that she creates as well, it's just, I don't know, you develop a real emotional connection with them more so than other books that I've read.
As a kidney, mate. That is a kidney. That's a kidney.
Oh,
See it?
that's the kidney.
So pork chop with a bit of kidney.
Right.
I didn't say the
I've
whole
never seen a
kidney.
pork chop with a bit of kidney on it.
Yeah, we used to get them. They're pretty damn good.
I like the loin part. The rest of it just gets in the way.
It kind of does, but I actually probably just buy pork loin. In fact, I got a whole pork belly at Booker's Cash and Carry.
Right.
Not the last time we were there, but the time before. I got a whole pork belly for £9, right? Because it was used by like 2 days' time. It was when I put my hands up, right, like this, and fill the whole screen. Pork belly was probably bigger than that, right? It was a whole side. It was a whole side of a pig. It was brilliant. I got 23 pork loin steaks out of it.
That's good. I've just put a link to that Penzies Ozark seasoning.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 different ingredients. All of them spices, nothing artificial. And I'm not sure. You can't. I have to get it sent over from the US.
John, that's not a pancreas. That's a kidney. Seriously, mate. Good God. Well, back to arguing. Thank God the world has continued. We were looking at the pork chop because that's a pork chop that had a bit of kidney on it.
We were discussing the fact that a bunch of people didn't know that pork chops came attached to kidneys.
Or it can do. It can do. Right. So apparently people are going on about vegan. I'm not doing any vegan shit. I don't do vegetarian crap. I eat meat and that's it. I'm not doing any vegan stuff. I thought I might give up drink for January because I really do need to look at the state of me. My head's gone square. I need to lose some weight.
Yeah, well, it's the post-Christmas thing, just because I don't normally eat cheese boards and drink as much as I have been doing over Christmas, and also the gatherings and the parties and the social events, and you just end up drinking far more than you would do normally. And but it's not a case of I'm going to make a New Year's resolution to lose some weight. It's just I need to lose a bit of weight after Christmas, and I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you have to set yourself realistic goals. I think that's why a lot of people fail in their goals, is because they don't make the goals realistic, and kind of have a balanced appraisal of what you're really capable of, rather than what you wish you were capable of when you're making New Year's resolutions.
No, you're right. You are right, mate. You are.
But
Oh,
I mean, I don't know. I'm looking at 2025 with a mixture of somewhere between trepidation and terror. Because 2024 is, I mean, each year in the 2020s seems to have been more insane than the last.
do you
And
think so?
2024, yeah, because it didn't end with the COVID. That just started it. And I mean, it was all pretty insane when we hit 2020. But the first 2 years of the 2020s, it was lockdown and stuff. And okay, we're not in lockdown anymore, but the propaganda and the mind control and the media management and the narratives and all of the BS and all of that has just continued. And you just wonder what the next thing is going to be, because unlike all previous U.S. administrations, the outgoing administration seems to want to try and cause as many problems for the incoming administration as humanly possible. And then they've got a lot of evil little demons like Macron and Starmer and people like that who, I mean, the British establishment would love nothing more than to have war with Russia, which we know. I mean, I don't know if you saw the story. There was a thing about, I think it was the Daily Mail, talking about how the submarine fleet is scandalous because they have gangbangs and all sorts of hazing and just like, and and I don't know if obviously it's Daily Mail, so it could well be propaganda, but the British military is in no state to fight a war, and the British population isn't going to fight one either. So
You know what? And I might sound like a dick here, right? Or a misogynist even, but don't put men and women on a ship, right?
no,
And then put them out on a detachment of 3, 6, sometimes 12 months, right? And not expect anything to happen. That's not how it works. That's why you never had Wrens at sea, you know. So this whole thing nowadays about mixing men and women doesn't work. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Even in the police to a degree, it doesn't work because I've seen it happen. What happens is the men tend to protect the women and they take
Yeah.
their eye off the ball. And it happens all the time. It's absolutely stupid.
and in a
It's-
situation where there's violence
Yeah,
involved,
exactly. It's
that
crazy.
actually becomes a handicap.
It does. Yeah. And, most women don't have the same instincts when it comes to fighting for your life,
And it's also in a situation like that, the physical differences make a difference. I mean,
They
that's
make a
why
massive difference, mate. Massive.
back before all the DEI nonsense, as you and I have talked about before,
Mhm.
there's a height restriction.
Yeah.
For the police force, you had to be over a certain height.
Yeah.
And yeah, okay, that was different around the country, but it was still
It was
there were
5
still
foot
limits
10.
there.
5 foot 10 in Strathclyde when I joined.
And that's
That's
I mean,
why-
that's not to say that you can't have women in the military and women in the police force, but I think to try and ignore the differences between men and women, as they're trying to do, and as the feminists want us to do, it's barking, because there is a difference. And if you put a 6'2" man up against a 5'5", so relatively tall for a woman, say 5'6", 5'7".
Mhm.
But even if you have a super tall lady, 6'1", 6'2",
Still don't have the strength.
a 6'2" man is always gonna batter a 6'2" woman, unless that woman
Yeah.
is MMA trained,
Yeah. Well, you see,
sort of thing.
the thing that brought it home to me was when you compare a man and woman's relative strength, right? So both men and women are at their peak of physical strength when they're about 25. And a 25-year-old woman has the kind of relative strength of a 60-year-old man.
Mhm.
So that shows you the difference in strength between men and women.
Yeah.
And all you need to do is look at the animal kingdom when you look at lions and tigers and things like that, or anything, gorillas. The males are always bigger and stronger. It's only when you
The
get
thing
to
is,
the aliens like octopuses where the women are different.
sure. I
Or the
mean, we should be
females.
playing to people's strengths.
Yeah.
This is the thing, and it's not just about whether you're male or female, and it's got nothing to do with the color of skin either. But some people seem to have an innate preference or ability to do certain things. Like some people are natural academics,
Mhm.
some
Yeah.
people are natural tradesmen, and some people just enjoy. I mean, there are people out there who really enjoy cleaning as well.
Yeah.
But instead of schools trying to trying to teach people how to think and find out what their innate talents are, the things that they enjoy doing, because if schools set out to work out what it was that kids were good at, each individual child, what it was they were good
I
at,
don't even know if that would
what
work. Oh, because kids are, you think about it, you want to be something as a kid, and your tastes change and your mood changes, and you end up doing something completely different in later life.
no, I'm not talking about an actual profession, because I mean, when I
Right.
was a kid, I wanted to be a firefighter at sea. I'm talking about
That's
yeah,
oddly specific.
yeah, no, yes.
I can understand being a firefighter, well, as we used to call them, firemen. But what was the at sea business?
I don't know, honestly, but that is the first thing that I ever told people when they asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. And obviously, I'm not a firefighter at sea.
Yeah.
But the point, no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying it's
Right.
not about asking a kid what they want to be when they grow up. It's about schools working in a different way and actually, which is not possible in the current educational system. I'm not saying that this is a practical idea for right now, but
Yeah.
in an ideal world, there should be certain things that kids have to learn: maths, English, just the basics.
Yeah. Yeah.
But within that, it's like, is the child artistic? Do they like to draw?
Mhm.
Is the child more analytical? Do they like to solve math problems? Exposing kids to a lot of different things,
Mhm.
and then using that information and how the child does to work out whether that's something that they like doing. Because if the child likes working with numbers, because some people, I've always been terrible at maths because I just can't. I'm practical. It's like I'm happiest when I'm building something, Lego, computer programs, whatever. Some people,
Are
the
you
thought of sitting in
left-handed?
front of no, right-handed. But for some people, the thought of doing that is like torture, and they'd rather be outside painting or doing practical things, decorating or plumbing or scaffolding or whatever.
Yeah.
But the system tries to cram everyone into the same box, and instead of having multiple boxes and working out what sort of shape the child is and trying to find a hole that fits the child rather than trying to essentially hammer every child through the same sized hole.
Right. I'm doing a poll. People. Answer the poll. It's anonymous, so I won't know who says what. But I just want to. I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. I need to know. I need to know. I need to know. Right. So you're right-handed, Ed. So that gives one to the. It gives one to the rights.
Mhm.
So how many?
But at the same time, I'm a good problem solver, and I'm not academic at all.
I'm not suggesting you should be.
Well, no. But it's just
Yeah.
the thing is that some people are academic, and
Well,
some people aren't.
I think I'm quite
Some-
academic.
Some people want to work outside, and some people would much rather be sitting in an office in front of a computer.
Yeah.
Some people like working with other people. Some people would, like me, would much rather interact with people via email, not really talk to anyone or see anyone.
Yeah. So Shalini's right-handed. Vaughn's left-handed. Ray's left-handed. Britmate's left-handed. I'm left-handed. So I end the poll now? I'd probably end the poll now. Anybody else want to vote before I end the poll? Get your votes in, And the poll's ended. Right. So let's have a look at the poll. So no 83%, yes 16%, 12 votes. So that's quite interesting. Oh, you're surprised I'm a lefty, are you, Britmate? Why would you be surprised? Do you not think I'm quite creative? Okay. That's why I was asking Ed if he was a lefty, because he seems to be quite creative.
I'm creative to a certain extent. I mean, I wouldn't describe myself as artistic. I have certain things.
I just wondered if Julie was left-handed, because she's quite creative as well. Gunky's special. He's like that. He's special, you know. He's like,
oh, that's interesting.
He's like Forrest Gump.
I just asked Grok what the percentage of left versus right-handed people in society is.
Yeah.
And the general population is estimated to be about 85% to 90% right-handed and 10 to 15 left-handed, which, given that 83% came in as no, is almost bang on. So our 12 viewers
pretty much
are
slightly
slightly
biased towards the lefties compared to the general population.
Mm-hmm. But still, it means we have a nice balanced audience.
I just wondered because, you know, if you're left-handed, the right half of your brain is the creative side, and usually if you're left-handed, you have a larger corpus callosum than a right-handed person. So your two brains communicate better. Because you know how you've got two brains, you know, two halves of the brain, and if you cut that corpus callosum, you become two people. It's like two sides of an antennae, and you cut it, and one side gets one input and one side gets the other, and because they can't communicate, you come out with different stuff. It'd be weird.
That must be difficult to live with.
Oh yeah, I think it would be very, very difficult to work with. Live with.
Right. Anything else in chat?
Gunky broke both his wrists and had to work it out. What? Oh, I just don't know.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think we're probably much done, mate, aren't we? What? Right, so we won't be in tomorrow and we won't be in on New Year's Day, but we'll be back on Thursday with a Rabbit Hole review. We'll be doing a review of the Rabbit Hole year, in which Ed and I will be giving our top 5 Rabbit Hole shows with some justification and the one we like the least.
I think I already know that one.
Oh, do you?
But I'll save it for New Year's Day.
I don't know what one I like.
No, it's not New Year's Day. It's day after New Year's
second.
Day.
It's the second, mate. Second.
Which you lucky bastards in Scotland get off, but we have to work.
Yeah.
Because fuck you.
We get 4 public holidays. Christmas Day, Boxing Day, first and second.
Everybody gets more public holidays than we do, apart from the Americans.
Oh, they don't get many
almost
holidays.
None.
Europe just go nuts for public holidays. They have like 16 or 18 or something. They have a mental amount of public holidays.
Yeah. Spain seems to have a public holiday once a month.
Yeah.
But then the thing is that I think you can get more efficiency out of people by making them work less, because if the person is happy, they're productive, they're getting more work done when they are working,
Mhm.
and because you're treating them better and they have a bit more leisure time and time off, you have happier workers.
Yeah.
But not always.
Well, yeah, and actually that's quite a good point, because I mean I've worked in quite a few different establishments. I've worked in the police. Before that, I worked in retail. I've worked in academia. I was in the university for 3 years as an employee. Right? I've worked for the council, and I've privately contracted for multinational companies, oil companies, banks, IT companies, IT companies in the States. Worked remotely for them, and I've worked for the police as a contractor for doing their IT, and I've worked for a major high street bank in the UK as well. So I've worked in a lot of different places, and they all have this attitude to working from home, right? That none of them really like you working from home, okay? Which I find quite strange, because in my experience, 95% of the time when people are working from home, they do more work. Now, they might not do it necessarily at the time that they would do it in the office, right? But generally, if you measure their output, it's higher, right, than if they were in the office. And yet you get people like Elon Musk who wanders about going, he wants to see every government employee at a desk and in the office. And the same goes for
He's a
SpaceX
control
and Twitter.
freak.
Yeah,
I mean,
he is.
if you listen to the kind of hours that he makes his staff
Yeah.
work,
Yeah,
that's not healthy.
It's not healthy, and it doesn't actually promote productivity, because
No.
if you let people set, I mean, why should it matter, right? If, let's say, you don't require to be at a desk or in front of people, right? Why should it matter where and when you do your work? So say you
I don't think it should.
say you wanted to go out all day, and you did, got pissed, came home, had your dinner, went to bed, got up at 2 o'clock in the morning and did all your work, right? Why would that matter to anyone, right? If that's the way you want to do it, it shouldn't matter to anyone when you do your work. Unless it's different if you've got clients and you've got to be available to talk to them and things like that. But generally, why would it matter when and where you do your work, as long as you do your work? And this is why people should be measured by output and not by walking around. And that's just to piss me off, because they would make us as contractors, they would try and make us come in, between like 8 and 5 or something like that. And I never did. I always came in. I was always in the door before 7 and was out the door at 3:30. That was my working day as far as I was concerned, right? And they would say to me, but you need to, the guys that are employed, I says, hold on a minute. Are you talking to me as an employee? Which, if you're talking to me as an employee, then you need to talk to my company who employs me to do work that you've requested me to do. And they're like that. What are you talking about? You work for us? And I goes, no, I don't. I work for, Venetic Limited or whatever it was, right? I work for that company. And they're like that. No, you work for us? And I goes, no, that company supplies a service to you, and I work for them. And some of them can't get their head around it. And it's like, what? And I guess that's the way it is. If you're a contractor, you don't work for people. When you contract somebody to do something, you're not contracting the person, you're contracting the service.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't matter how that service is delivered, because if I've said to you, I will give you a package of this by this date, if I do it early and then bum off for the next 3 months doing nothing, you still owe me the same amount of money because I delivered what I contracted to provide. But the people they don't want that. They want you sat at a desk doing fuck all.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, you know.
I think some managers are just control freaks. I think one of the biggest things, particularly in the United Kingdom, but a lot of the Western world is suffering from, is really bad management.
Yeah, they are.
That a lot of the problems in organizations and governments are caused by useless mid-level managers they've climbed their way on other people's backs to the top and are effectively incompetent at what they do.
Yeah,
They're good at playing politics, not managing people.
they've been promoted to the point where they are no longer competent.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's systemic everywhere. But I mean, I've had one in comparison with you. I've had one job since I graduated university, and I actually started working for them before I graduated. And I've been working in the same place with the same people for 25 years.
Yeah, but am I not quite a bit older than you still?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I mean, I did 21 years in the police, did 9 years in the council.
Hmm.
You know, did 3 years in uni, did 9 years contracting. So I had
Yeah, so you're an old fart,
I did
basically.
about 11 years contracting.
Well, no, you just told me you got your bus pass. So
Yes, I have. I got my free bus
yeah,
pass.
so you're at least 10 years older than me.
Yeah. Got my bus pass. I'm now allowed to travel for free on any bus in Scotland.
Oh dear.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
I think it's kind of funny, actually.
I think it's fucking hilarious. I didn't even know I was entitled to it. I thought you had to be retired, you know.
Buses are rank anyway.
Well, not necessarily. Look, the intercity buses are normally all right. You know, if you're going...
Yeah, but I mean, they're more like coaches.
Yeah. You're still allowed to travel on them.
But I just don't like public transport.
I'm not a great fan of public transport either. But more importantly, you can also travel by train.
That's useful.
And you get...
Although
You don't get it free on the train, but the fare comes down to £1.50 return.
That's good.
That's a fucking good one because
Trains are bloody expensive.
Yeah, between here and Glasgow, which is 2 fucking stops. 2 stops, right? So between here and Glasgow, it's £9.60 return.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh. But anyway. I think we've probably we've done enough. I think we've done nearly 2 hours, mate.
I think. No, it's been fun.
But thanks for coming along because obviously it's made the night fly along a lot quicker.
No,
I've enjoyed
thank
myself.
you for inviting me. It was fun. I look forward to talking to you again on Thursday.
And I look forward to seeing all you lovely people back again. Remember, like, share, subscribe, evangelize us, tell people about us. Come listen. We'll try and get funnier.
Yeah, but when the world is getting more batshit crazy, sometimes it's a bit
you know
difficult
what?
to be funny.
We'll just slip into the rabbit hole stuff more. I've got a whole new raison d'etre. I'm getting into. Somebody sent me some stuff on Twitter today about supernatural stuff. You know, like mediumship and stuff like that, and physical.
I'm always happy to talk about that stuff.
Oh, it was pretty. This stuff's pretty cool looking. I was looking at the skull experiment. So I mean, I'll send you some links. But it's definitely worth looking into. So I'm quite interested in that. I think it was Eyes Wide Shut that put me down this route because I thought I haven't looked at devil worship for a long time. I think it's time to go back into it. I mean, I know we looked at the Church of Satan and the satanic temple.
I'm always interested in dipping into those rabbit holes. You know that.
Those things are quite interesting. They are quite interesting. I really like them, especially when you've got people like Jack Parsons involved. You know, because that's. I mean, this is the guy that invented JPL. You know, Jet Propulsion Labs, or as they say, the Jack Parsons Labs. So it's a whole different world. It's weird. And these guys really believed this, you know? Strange people.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yes, I find it very strange.
Mhm.
Particularly when it's people like rocket scientists.
Yeah, and yeah.
But yeah,
We'll leave it at
there's
that.
always absolutely,
think
and
we'll leave it.
there's always good stuff to talk about. So
Oh yeah. We don't care, Shalini. We don't refer to people by their arbitrary, what would you call it, endowments that they've been bestowed upon them by a neutral
honorifics, I think they're called.
Yeah, a neutered royalty that no one really gives a toss about anymore. I mean, let's face it, even if you were a royalist, I think pretty much gave it up when the Queen died, didn't you?
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I may be wrong, but
no, it feels like the overall attitude to the royal family has changed dramatically since the Queen died.
They're not likable people. The Queen, the Queen had a certain gravitas, a certain dignity about her. She was probably a horrible person at times, but hey, we all are. But she held that thing together that the rest of them can't. They can't do that. I mean, look at Andrew, fucking spying for the Chinese now, isn't he? You know?
It's just that, I mean, that's a whole rabbit. That idiot's a whole rabbit hole in itself.
Yeah.
Sorry, his royal idiotness.
And I don't know what you actually think about the whole Kate and what's his name, William thing. I just don't believe it. I don't believe all the stories around them. You know, I don't believe the cancer stuff and all that. I think it's all weird. He's up. I mean, it's pretty well known he had an affair with her pal, and that's why they don't talk anymore. You know, and all this pagan stuff. I think that could be genuine. I just don't like. I don't like him. I don't like any of them really.
I don't like all of the. It's just that whole elite class. The way that they act, the way that they just are, the way that they've been brought up, the trauma based. Mind control and trauma bonding and the all of that stress, because they still go, I mean, it's we're just going to keep going. Let's do a rabbit hole about it.
Yeah, listen, we do witter on Johnny John. That's what we do. But you know what? And this is, it's not rabbit hole, but that time that Rothschild poked Charlie in the chest, that said a lot. It really
one picture reveals an awful lot.
Yeah, that, because you don't do that, do you? Unless you are the top dog.
Yeah. And that you know it, and then the other person knows it.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Ed, it's been a pleasure. All you people out there, have a happy new year when it comes to you.
Yes, very happy new year, guys. And thanks for all the support this year.
We shall see you on the 2nd, 9 o'clock as normal. Okay.
Look forward to it.
Take care. I shall play you out with the last Christmas intro of the year.
Woohoo!
Be great for you.
This just happened. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. My neighbors compete to see who can put up more blinding lights. The kids all wish away the month 'cause they want presents in sight. This year had me so mad. I've been bad, got coal that is sitting under my tree. I think that my Christmas has died. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. When I was just a boy, Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am. But right in front of me was the answer. 'Cause on Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song.
Which one of you did that?